Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk some more about human design and fasting because everybody wants to know, should I be fasting? Should I be doing intermittent fasting? And I do have a video, I'll link it maybe up here for you if you want to watch that one as well. But this is my current most updated perspective on fasting, and I'm going to dive into a little bit more specifics about how your own human design chart is going to tell you more about whether fasting is going to be really more beneficial for you versus less beneficial for you, okay? So I have a few things to say that I need to go over that are going to be like across the board things that we want to understand about health and fasting. And then we'll go into your human design arrows that will tell you a little bit more about you and your energy and your energy body and how it would work with fasting, okay? Okay, so what the heck is fasting for anyways, right? The first thing we want to remember, know, and understand is that fasting, to some level, is good for all of us, right? And why this is because we're not supposed to be eating all hours of the day, because our body needs time and space to be able to reset itself and to do its very, very important work, which is taking out the garbage every single day, every single night, mostly. So when we consume food, which we do usually every day, the body has to digest it, which is a big energy requirement. I talk about that a lot. And the amount of energy that is being, put into the digestive process is going to dictate how much energy is there for the elimination processes. And elimination is really key to health, right? We can't keep putting stuff in without releasing it. When the body is purified inside, when it's cleaner and clearer, we're getting rid of toxins consistently, getting rid of old hormones, we're getting rid of residues, we're getting rid of things that the body has gathered and cleaned up. We've got to fully eliminate those in order to see our health improve and feel better and better and better, okay? And this happens every single night, every single day / night. When you go to sleep, you're not eating. The liver's like, green light, I'm gonna take out the garbage. I'm gonna do a lot of work right now and get everything primed and ready for the morning. And all I need then is a little bit of water with lemon, and then I can flush things out a lot better, which is why if you get things clicking, you'll be able to depend on your body and know and trust that when you eat in a way that's supporting your true systems, your cells, organs, needs through the day, and then you go to bed, you go to sleep, you wake up, you drink that water, you should be pooping shortly after that, like very regularly, because that's like the dumping out of the toxins, the elimination. So it's really needed. It's really vital. It's really important that we eliminate every day, more than once even, depending on what you're eating, right? So whatever. Okay, so just wanted to put that in there. Fasting through the night, so a like 12-hour fast, is going to be helpful for every person, just so that you give your body that time-space window to do its very, very important work to keep you healthy and to improve your health, okay? So that's sort of a standard that we all need to understand, right? So if you know, like, okay, my health comes from this, my body needs this, I'm gonna follow through on that, I'm gonna do that. So that could be as simple as I eat dinner at 8 p.m. After that, done. And then I wake up and I don't eat till 8 or 8:30. Okay, that's an easy 12-hour fasting example, okay? You could do it, it just really, really depends. There's not exactly right and wrong with health. It's very individual. But just give yourself a good 12-hour window, okay? And okay, the second thing I want to talk to you guys about is the other concept of fasting, like through the day, okay? Like, why do people do it? And there's many reasons. I'm sure you've heard, like, oh, you increase human growth hormone, you lose weight, you like, I don't know, like aging, that's supposed to help with aging. So I want to tell you what it is from what I know and my perspective on like plant-based lifestyle, okay? So the thing is, fasting is not necessary to, let's say, lose weight, okay? Because what we have to remember is that health and all of the positive byproducts of health and like healing whatever's off is not coming from you not eating at all, okay? It is coming from you eating foods that help the body work and not eating foods that slow the body down and make it harder for it to work. So sometimes people see a big results with fasting because they're not eating as much of the foods I call the trigger foods or the no list foods, right? That literally are clogging up the system and making it hard to work. And so that's one way that we need to understand this. Okay, I just have so much to say. Secondly, you also need to remember or know that, let's say we're talking just about weight loss, okay, fasting and weight loss. You aren't losing weight from not eating for hours of the day. You're losing weight when you give your liver a break and you give your gut a break. So on the one hand, when you don't consume food and you just drink water, you are giving your digestive system a break, right? It doesn't have anything to digest. And so in that way, I am in agreement that the digestive system can catch up some speed because you're not putting anything in that would be like causing an energy need. Now, the other thing you have to know though is what if, this is what I teach, this is what I do, why don't we just eat in a way that we are getting nutrients and we're having fuel and we're eating food or, certain foods, and we're also not putting the digestive system in a bind, right? That is the point of food, right? That is the point of eating in the way that is easy on the body, that it isn't taxing. So when you stop taxing the system by how you eat and the exact ingredients that you're eating, you are benefiting. You are on your way to the health that you want. You are on your way to the weight loss you want. So that's one part of it. The like ease on the digestive system, because that is a big player when it comes to energy and stuff. And then the second part is when you're not eating something, okay, there is space to digest better, but it's also, let's say you normally ate breakfast and you normally had I want to say like coffee, or you had, I don't know, toast or cereal, and that cereal had gluten, or you put milk in your coffee and that is dairy. Those things are slowing the system down. It's not that you're eating at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11. It's that those ingredients don't work in here, So you don't have to not eat. What you need to know is you need to eat the foods that work and eat in a really simple way so that the gut can work on them and use them with ease. And you want to eat lighter to heavier, okay? And I talk about this a lot. So you can achieve the same results of fasting like by eating or drinking water and then having a green juice. You could have more green juices. You could move into fruit. You could move into smoothies. Those are all really light energy foods, light energy to digest. You could have coconut water, like organic coconut water, not the pink or red kind, and no additives and stuff, like pure organic coconut water. You could have all of that and actually be feeding into health more than not eating anything at all. And definitely more than not eating anything at all and having coffee, okay? So here's where we need to talk about your adrenals, you guys. So your adrenals are like your energy source. They help you respond to every stressor in your life, good or bad. Even like I'm taking a shower, that's a stressor. I'm like, my kid is screaming, stress. Like I'm hurrying to work or whatever, stress. Working out, positive stress. So the thing is, not eating for hours and hours and hours is not ideal for most people, okay? And sometimes you can do it, and sometimes I don't eat for I would say like hours and hour, maybe like 4, maybe, well, I usually have fruit, so that's the thing. The thing is, if you go hours and hours, your adrenals are going to need to respond to stressors. And if they don't have glucose, because the body runs on glucose, fruits and veggies, they have to produce their own energy, and this is when our hormones get imbalanced. This is when they're producing stress hormones, they're producing cortisol, which is like inhibitor of a lot of health conditions that we want, you know? So we want our stress hormones to be balanced, so we don't want to cause the adrenal glands to be imbalancing our hormones, because they're the ones that are, you know, producing these hormones. So the way that we keep our adrenals healthy is that we give them consistent access to glucose through the bloodstream, which means we've got to eat it. It's got to be digested and pushed through the gut lining into the bloodstream. So that means we need to be consuming the plant foods, right? The fruits, the veggies. It's critical, like those critical carbohydrates for the adrenals. You know, we really need to have like the fruit, the honey, the coconut water, potatoes, those kind of things. So in essence, like you're actually setting yourself up for adrenal fatigue or energy issues if you consistently don't eat, and you aren't aware of like, okay, when I do eat, I really need to be focusing on like the plants and the glucose containing foods, right? So it's like really hard on the body if you were to not eat all day and then have like steak and like, you know, heavy, dense, high fat protein foods, because it's just not how the body thrives, you guys. So it needs that consistency. And what I'm trying to get across here is that you can eat these beautiful plant foods through the day and be supporting your adrenals and be supporting easy, effortless, efficient digestion, and be supporting cleansing, because fruits are cleansing, and helping the liver have adequate glycogen. Like it needs more glucose for storage so that it can do all of its jobs. So it's like win, and you're eating. You're winning and you're eating, okay? Versus the somewhat benefit of not eating just because you're not eating like the foods that would trigger you anyways, even if you ate them later in the day. You know, if you eat canola oil or corn or dairy at dinner and you fasted all day, you're still not giving your body what it wants, you know? So what if we just gave the body what it wanted and we didn't have to not eat, right? So that's really important. The other thing I do want to mention is coffee. So your adrenals, you guys, and your nervous system and coffee, if you're not eating food and you're drinking coffee all through the day, especially if it's just like regular coffee, let's say that it's regular caffeinated coffee, nothing special, no like mushroom adaptogenic coffee, organic, right? That's acidic. Coffee beans are, unless they're organic, have pesticides and chemicals on them. You're going to be taxing the adrenals with the caffeine, and your nervous system is going to start to get a little edgy if that's what you're giving it, okay? Because the nervous system, which is basically how we regulate ourselves, how we stay in a calm, neutral state, and remember that connection between the gut and the brain, we need soothing, cooling foods, okay? So I want you to think green juice, celery, cucumber, leafy greens, all the fruits, especially mangoes, cooling, soothing foods, aloe, pears, sweet potatoes. So those are the foods that you're gonna want to put in because of like all the caffeine, all of the acidity, all of the coffee. So that's not like, the goal is not to have no calories. Like it's a misguided perception. So I'm just here to tell you, like, this isn't exactly the healthiest thing. The healthiest thing to do is to eat real foods, to feed into our body what it needs, to eat high amounts of glucose, like to focus on fruits and vegetables all the time. And like when you do that, you don't have to not eat to get a result. That's what I'm trying to tell you, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Now, do some people thrive with fasting? Sure. And I won't get into all of that exactly in this video, but what I want to tell you about human design is that in your chart, I'll just put a picture of it up here. It's the top left arrow, and I've spoken about this before, at least on my Instagram I have. If your arrow is pointing in towards your head on the picture, the brain, the mind, mine is, that means that you have a passive brain. If it points out, that's an active brain, okay? So active brains need more consistency with food intake. So if you have an active brain, the pointing out arrow, you're going to do better with like more regulated meals and snacks, okay? It doesn't mean you have to have meals and snacks a certain number of times. It just means more consistent, more regular, and you'll find what works for you. If it's passive, there is more of a, what do I want to say? More of a like flow that happens with the way that you eat. Like we don't need as much information from food, and sometimes too much food is like overload to the system, right? So I know that per my arrow, for one thing, I can fast likely longer than someone with an active brain, and it would be easier for me. I want to say easier, not that like I'm forcing myself to do it. I just don't always have hunger in the morning, okay? A lot of times I don't. And some people do, and it's probably going to be reflected in that arrow. The other thing is you want to look at your energy type, okay? So I'm a manifesting generator. If you're a generator type, your sacral's defined. This again means that you have a little bit of a sturdier constitution, and doing things like liquid diets, juicing, trying different things, it's just not as hard on our bodies. Like we just have a sustenance to us, versus if you have that open sacral, like your food is fuel, you guys. Like you need to give your body that food. And so my perception is that if you're a projector, a reflector, or a manifester, that your body probably wouldn't thrive with long-term fasting like a generator's could. And again, I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't based on any of these. I'm just saying you need to think about these things, about how you're built. So defined sacral, a little sturdier. Not defined, more, you need the sacral to be fueled, right? That's where you're getting energy for your body. You're getting your human energy, and you need it. Like, and you're like in human design terms, like the energy body again needs that from the human. Whereas the generators, we've got this battery and it will go and go and go, like assuming that, you know, we're living somewhat in alignment, we're doing things that we want to be doing, right? Again, like a generator can burn out too. You can check out my other video on that. Like when you're saying yes to things you don't want to, when you're doing things in ways you don't want to, like that's going to burn you out too. But it's just different ways, right? But these are things that we want to pay attention to and want to really be aware of so we can make the best decision for ourselves, okay? So to wrap this up, baseline, fasting helps us to cleanse through the night and to eliminate in the morning to make progress towards more health within, right? We've got to keep eliminating. We have to eat to eliminate every day. We need that space for the liver to do its job, and then we need to help it finish the job with the water in the morning, okay? And, you know, the amount of time you want to play with, check out your arrow. Check out, just notice, like, do I feel hungry in the morning? Am I not so hungry? Again, this is also going to depend on, like, what did you eat last night? Are you, like, eating too much? Are you eating foods that are dense, heavy, that are triggering, like, the root of disease? That all factors in. So this is why health is very specific, you know, to what's going on with you, your body, and how you're wired. And then just pay attention to like the ideas that are being put out there, like don't eat anything, only drink water, don't even have lemon in your water, right? From a health perspective, like that doesn't make sense because the lemon really activates the cleansing of the liver, especially first thing. And so it's kind of contrary to the belief system that food is healing when we're saying like don't eat food but just pour coffee in because it's non-caloric or it doesn't, you know, do these things inside the body to the hormones. Well, it's doing things to your adrenal glands and that therefore is going to influence your hormones, okay? So all of this stuff really we need to pay attention to. So I've been wanting to make this video for a really long time. So I think those are the main core things that I want you guys to know and think through before you decide, should I be fasting or not? So it's not a yes or no question. It's very much more like, who am I? What's going on? And again, one more thing to think about would be like, how do I feel in my health right now? If you're dealing with anything related to like fatigue, low energy issues, adrenal fatigue, if you want to be pregnant, if you're pregnant, if you're post-pregnancy, I would not recommend it because you really, 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 really need your adrenals supported for fertility and for pregnancy, and so that you can stay really strong and avoid some of those postpartum issues after birth, okay? It's so critical to keep the body strong that way. So if you're dealing with those issues now, like you've got to keep feeding the adrenals with those high glucose foods and mineral salt foods. So I'll make another video on that for you guys, okay? But if you have questions, put them below in the comments and I will respond to you and see what else we need to talk about, okay? So if you're interested in working with me, I have some human design blueprint readings open. You can do a session with me and we'll go through your human design chart, your energy type, your authority. We'll look at your centers and we'll talk about what's going on with your health. We'll go through your unique digestive profiles and I'll help you map out a plan where you'll know like what a solid day in alignment looks like for you with food and the direction you want to go. So there's that single session option, and then there's a single session with 2 weeks of coaching with me on VOXER to keep you proactive in implementing what we talk about, okay? And my other courses below, Baby Body Ready, if you're interested in getting pregnant. Everything is connected, you guys. So I really hope this helps you, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.